and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be bringing you around my collection and showing you my December updates, showing you what's going on in my collection, the good stuff, the bad stuff, new leaves, pests, etc. So yeah, let's get into it. Really quickly, before we do, I just want to say if you are new here and you don't know me already, my name is Emma and I make houseplanting content all over the internet, so if you want to follow along with my houseplanting journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around and watch some more of my videos and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Right, let's get into these plants. So it snowed last night, which makes my little Californian heart sing. Like, it makes me so freaking happy. I went outside and I made a snow angel. Because that's who I am, but oh my god, it's just so beautiful. Waking up to this just makes me so incredibly happy, and I know that's just because I've not really had that, but it just makes me, it's just so pretty. I love it. So I guess we can start in the office and on the shelves, I suppose. I mean, things are growing pretty well, surprisingly still. I'm surprised that things are still growing. But things like my Hoya New Guinea Ghost here, like that's put out this new leaf. Probably, I don't know if it's been in the last month or not, but it's been putting out leaves, so that's really good. And my varicosum back there that I chopped back to nothing. Oh my goodness. Let me zoom in on that fuzzy petiole. Look at that. Look how cool it is. It's so freaking fuzzy. Which is super exciting. And I mean, who doesn't like these gorgeous like red backs on the leaves? The fronts of the leaves are gorgeous too, but I think the backs of the leaves are where they really shine. So that's really good. All my variegated Hoya polyneuras have been doing super duper well, just propping in water. They're both rooted in there, which is exciting. Other than that, things are just like chilling here. Up top, again, nothing that exciting. It's just, things are growing fine. My Burle Marx Fantasy is doing well. My, oh gosh, I need to remember what this one is. I'll put it on the screen. But this is a Philodendron Atabapoense mix. It's a hybrid, so it's got like really, really dark leaves. Like, look how dark those are. But it is a middle cutting and it's finally starting to sprout. Everything, like, it's just fine. I think, I don't know if I've put this up here since I last showed you, but it lives up here now. It's still not doing anything. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if it's doing anything at all, which is fine, I guess. I need to collect pollen from that up there. That's my Forgetii white stripe. It's flowering in the male stage and I really, really want to propagate it. So I'm going to collect pollen on that. It's got some decently large leaves because my crystallinum, the one with the like insane huge leaf, is also flowering right now. And I think this one's going to be in the female stage very, very soon. So if I collect pollen from the Forgetii and put it on here, then I could potentially get a crystallinum Forgetii combo with like insane genes. So I guess I'll collect that later today. Maybe that'll be a good thing for me to do. But yeah, I think that would be really cool. And it'll be my first time pollinating anthuriums. So I'll try and film bits of it and maybe make a video about it at some point or another. I did some kind of bad plant parenting this month as well. I'm pretty sure I forgot about this Maranta for a long time and it proper dried up, and you can see the damage. I've like yet to actually do anything about it. I've kind of just been ignoring it still. I might chop and prop and just start over with it because I don't need it to be like this leggy and weird and dry, and I'm sure the roots are probably okay in there, but there's probably a higher chance of them rotting because I've let it dry out and get wet again. So it's not ideal, but I'm sometimes not the best plant parent, and it's okay, but it happens. It happens to the best of us, and it's not my favorite plant in the world, and I could replace this one like probably for free. So I'm not like upset about it at the same time. So this is really exciting. I'll bring it down so you can see it better so it's not so crowded. But I got a code 69686 cutting. I mean, it's basically a full plant. But I got it from a friend. Ooh, I need to fill it with more water. But they had loads and loads and loads. It was free. Thanks, Matthew. But they had tons and tons and tons of them, and so they were just like, have them. They had too many. So I have one, and I put it on a pole, and I'm hoping it likes it. I mean, it's very, very, very newly on the pole. Like, it's still very new to my collection. I think this leaf popped out since I've had it, but it was like already emerging before I got it. So this new one will be the first one that's officially mine, but I just like love these sort of weird leaves. I didn't think I would, but I think they're so funky and cool. It's so funny, and I just want to see if I can get it to grow really big, so that's why I put it on a nice pole with some beautiful sphagnum moss. And yeah, I'm hoping it grows really well. I got a bunch of other stuff from him as well, so hopefully things grow well from that, but we'll see in time. We will see. Inside of the Rudsta, things are growing okay, so let me bring you in. So the most annoying thing is that my Regal leaf is definitely getting sunburnt. Like, you can really see where it's been hidden underneath that other leaf. It's perfectly fine, but at the top it is far too yellow. So I think I'll probably need to move it lower. I have it on a pot right now, there, which I think I'm gonna have to take out just so this leaf doesn't die. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything down here, like growth wise, so I don't know. We're just gonna take it slow with that one. What I really don't understand is this one. So this is my Splendid. It's gonna be quite hard to see. So my Splendid, it's on a lazy pole there, and then it grows off the top of the lazy pole, fine, and then it's putting out similar sized leaves, and then suddenly it starts to size up. Oh, come on, like, oh shoot. Okay, that could have been very dangerous, but it was actually okay. Well, I'll take you out for now. Definitely spilled pollen everywhere, which is great. But what I was saying is that, like, the Splendid, so this was the size of the leaf that was growing on the pole, not huge. The first leaf after the pole sizes up, kind of similar size, sizes up again, and now we're here and it's sizing up again and putting out another new leaf. So I don't know if it's just like the increased light, because this Arcadia Jungle Dawn light is like freaking bright, or what, but like it kind of feels like after the top of the pole is where it starts growing really big. And the same with my Melanochrysum. So it's like, this is how big it's on the pole. It's been about this big for a while, not sizing up at all, and then suddenly it comes off the pole and it sizes up. And I know this leaf is like massively sun stressed, and I think it is because it's quite close to the light, but it's just kind of like, it must be the light. It has to be the light. But if they're getting sun stressed, that means the light's too high, right? I don't know. I'm just gonna ignore it for now. And it should be fine. And probably need to like chop and prop this one because it's getting a bit excessive, and maybe I'll put it on, like, I'll take a bunch of cuttings and put it on a pole together and put it in highlight, and hopefully it'll grow nice and big then. But I've been really, really bad about keeping these poles moist. Like, they are like bone dry, which is really annoying, but I think it's okay. I'm trying to get rid of the fungus gnats, so I think that's the best way to go about it. The only thing I'm keeping damp in here is my Synapsis snake scale, which just put out this leaf, which isn't like quite shingling like the other ones, but it's not quite as reverted as that. So it's like, you can see that it's trying to shingle. Like, it's growing very, very flat against the moss there. I need to put more moss down, but it's like, it's almost there. I think maybe the next leaf that pops out of it will hopefully be snake scaly again. But I need to put more moss on the pole, and I'm trying to keep this pretty moist. I try to spray it with water like maybe every day, every other day, depending how much I remember. But I think it is pretty happy, and I think hopefully having this plank will help it to like shingle up it, because that would be really freaking cool. So in the living room, I think my plants are doing pretty okay. I've had the grow lights on quite a lot lately, just because it's been fairly dark and cloudy most days, and because the sun sets at like 3 in the afternoon. I need the grow lights to keep my plants happy and myself happy, so I think my plants are quite liking that. I think all of these plants are still absolutely loving this corner that I've made them. I have put my variegated monsteras, I've joined the two that I have, the one that's like super high variegation and then the one that's a bit more marbled. I've joined them together and put them on a moss pole, which is super exciting. It's definitely not grown into it yet because it's like fairly brand new and it's not quite turned itself around yet. I don't know if it will even, but yeah, I think it's really liking being so freaking close to that Sansi bulb. You can see the leaves have like very much so turned to face it, which is good. But other than that, things are pretty okay. The Glorious that I've been air layering has really started to put out roots. And I think I should probably cut it quite soon because the new leaf emerged and I want to do it before another new leaf starts to emerge. But it got so top heavy that I've had to put like a stake in the top of the pole and attach it to that because it was just starting to fall over. So I think I really properly need to cut it. I'll probably do that quite soon, but I think it's fine, and the air layering should help me when I'm propping it. I've not kept it super duper wet because it's a pain in the butt, but they both have roots in their air layering, which is good. And I've never actually properly air layered before, so this is a fun little experiment for me, and it's an experiment that works. Like, air layering works. But yeah, things are growing well and I think they're happy. I think I might switch this light with the taller mother one that I have, just because like it's good at getting the bottom leaves here, but I feel like the top leaves aren't really getting as much. I do have the overhead lights on right now because it is so dark and it makes it slightly easier to film. But yeah, I think it would do better with a slightly taller light, and it'll help keep these plants happier. My cissus is doing great still, like loving the pole life and just generally having a good time. My Brilliant Marks isn't mad at all that I chopped it. I have it in 2 pieces, and this one, though it's looking a tiny bit droopy, I think it's just because it's getting used to being in moss. It should perk up quite soon. These plants here, not much is going on with them. The only sort of real news, I don't know if I showed this in my last video or not, but my Hoya carrii reverse is this one, and it has completely gone. And yeah, even that like new growth that was on there, gone. So I kind of think this one did have like flat mites, broad mites, because it just so rapidly declined all 3 leaves. It kind of just went bam, 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 and they were all just gone. So that is really annoying. I need to double check again with my microscope because I genuinely didn't see any last time, but we're just gonna have to have another look. I was hoping that that new growth there could pop out, but I think it's just going to have to go in the bin at this point, which is quite sad. I didn't expect to lose that one this year. It didn't grow, but I didn't expect to lose it either. In the other cabinet, the Milsbo is quite crowded. It is very busy and a bit messy, but that's okay. Things are still growing nicely. Like my green shield is putting out a new leaf. My reverse back there is putting out a new leaf. This one, the platinum, also looks like it's putting out a new leaf. So my alocasias are just having a grand time. Oh my goodness. So my Midria medium is one of the freaking slowest growing plants ever. ever. And it is finally putting out a bit of new growth. So at the beginning of the year, I think it just had that one leaf at the bottom. And it's put out 1, 2 this whole year. Like, so slow growing. But look at that. I've got a new leaf on my Midria medium silver. Woo! I'm actually really excited about that. My Hoyas that are up here are doing really well as well. Like the Parasitica, it's got another new leaf there. The Australis Lisa, these were the new leaves that came out previously, and I've got new ones there. The one I have in the corner, I don't remember what it is, but it is gorgeous and sun-stressed and absolutely lovely. The Compacta hasn't done anything, but I almost don't expect it to do anything yet because it is so... It's just one of those plants that is going to grow slowly. So that's okay. The Majestic that I have in here, it's growing okay, but it's gotten really leggy. I think I'm going to have to like use it for parts. I'm going to chop and prop it all. I think that's the best bet for it. And I might do the same with the Synapsis officinalis, which I don't even know if I can get it out here. It's growing so ugly, in my opinion. One, it's not even putting out variegation anymore, which is really annoying to me. But also, like, the leaves are just getting smaller and smaller. They're obviously not having a good time. And I don't know why. So I might start this one over again as well. Like, chop them all into wet sticks and, like, literally go from the start. Because I think that might be better for it. I know it had so much trauma after like struggling and like losing all its leaves, so I think that might just be for the best, just to give it a new chance, a new beginning. 2023 can be its new year of goodness. Moving on down to the bottom shelf. Gosh, everything's just like quite packed high up here, which I don't know if I like that much. I did get some magnetic shelves for the Rudsta, so I could hopefully bring some of these in there. Just because it's feeling very tight and crowded in here, which is fine, but it's also not ideal. My Discoria, I'm actually really pleased with it. It is growing super well already, like putting out some nice leaves, and there's a new one there. I think it has 2 growth points, maybe? Which is awesome, but I'm loving that. Oh, I don't know what type of cactus this is. This is a jungle cactus that I got from... Oh my god, it's grown so much. Holy cow. I got this from Claire when I went to hers, and I swear that these branches were like there. Like, they were all kind of the same length. And since it's been in my cabinet, I guess it's just been going a bit crazy. And I'm not surprised about it because it's a jungle cactus, so I know it's gonna love this sort of life. But like, look at that. Look at that growth. Like, I think this is the one she calls her head of hair cactus. So that's cool. And it's growing really well. Eventually it'll like flop down, it'll get too heavy and start trailing, which I think is really cool. But I'm really excited about it. I'm actually really getting into jungle cacti now, because I think they're really cool, and I just wanna keep growing more. Like, my fishbone cactus is doing quite well up there as well. I'm not gonna pull it out because it's kind of a pain to put it back, but it's doing well. So I'm trying to get more and try new things. Expand my planty horizons. That's always a fun thing to do. So I'm actually going to pull this dubia out, and it actually might be a bit of a mission. Let me see if I can get a good angle of me pulling it out, because there are leaves back there. It's growing like back onto the backboard, not shingling, but growing. So I'm gonna see if I can put it on a moss pole or something and start to get it to shingle, because that would be really cool. So let me see if I can pull it out, because that's one of my tasks for the week, is to get this on some sort of support. Look at that! I mean, obviously it's not growing its best. Let me flip the camera around so you can properly see. So it's obviously not growing its very best, but considering that this leaf, oh my god, I've literally had this leaf since March, and it has done absolutely freaking nothing all year. And then I finally decided to pot it into soil because I've heard somewhere that they need soil to like get nutrients. They really, really crave that nutrients. And so I put it in soil and it didn't do anything for ages. And then suddenly I started seeing the vine. And I probably should have dealt with this a long time ago before we got to this point. But here we are, and look at that. I'm genuinely going to try and put this on a moss pole and see if I can get it to start properly growing. Because, like, you can see here, the leaves are getting closer together. Those two look like they're ready to properly shingle, like, right next to each other, as opposed to spread out like this. So, if I can get this on a good pole, that might be its saving grace and help it become a happy, healthy new plant. Oh my god, I'm so excited about it. Because I've wanted a dubia, like a good, beautiful dubia, for so long. Just, like, looking at Claire's and seeing how beautiful it is, it makes me so, like, envious, because I just want that in my home. So, hopefully, this will be the start of what could be a beautiful dubia. We'll see where it is in a year, I guess. Or it might be dead. We'll see. Either way. My El Choco red leaf popped as well, and oh my goodness. I am so excited for it. It's definitely still not hard, but it is so beautiful. It's got a little bit of moisture on it, but it is doing so well. Let me show you the back, because the back is really lovely as well. Look at that. Tell me that's not just, like, absolutely stunning. I am so happy to have it. Like, I've known I wanted this plant for a really long time, and, like, oh, just to finally have it, like, it's been so worth it, and I'm so, so happy about it. Also, I just kind of, not pulled it out, but I need to fix this, because it's not ideal. Things are doing pretty well in the bedroom. I'm trying to keep this room so much less humid because of that, like, mold issue. I got rid of it, but I'm trying to keep it very, very, very low humidity. We almost always have the dehumidifier there running, just because we do not want to have to deal with mold in our home, because that would just generally suck. Cleo is taking her morning nap. There, look at that cutie. She's always good, as per usual. But nothing really exciting is going on up there, other than that my jewel orchid is awful. I genuinely do not know what's going on. It's just like, it keeps doing this, and I don't think it's a watering issue, because I don't think I'm watering it particularly badly. It's just getting uglier and uglier, and I just kind of want to get rid of it at this point, which sucks, but it's just how I feel. My lipstick plant actually looks like it's gonna flower, which is a bit odd for this time of year, I think. I feel like they flower in, like, summer, but I guess maybe if my home is giving it good vibes, it can flower, which I'm actually quite excited about, because I've never had this plant before, and to see it starting to flower means it must be happy in my care, so that is very good. My Monstera Standeliana is growing still like crazy. Like, it's reached the top of the pole at this point. I think I'll probably have to chop and prop, which is not a problem, but I'm just really, really, really loving the way it's looking and just how it's filling out the pole nicely. I think I could definitely chop and prop and put another one down there, and it would just look really nice continuing up. And I could probably put it in a brighter spot for more variegation, but I kind of like the, like, very occasional splashes that it's giving me now. So I'm not mad about that. Of course, my 3 to 4 touch sperma is continuing to grow like crazy and never gonna stop. So I'm just gonna have to keep chopping and propping it. Those aren't the ones that I chopped and propped last time. So the ones I chopped and propped last time are there, and they're already putting out new growth. So maybe I'll have to chop those as well, and hopefully get it to fill out that top section, because I think it would look a lot nicer if that bit was as full as the bottom. Things over here aren't that exciting. This sounds bad, but these aren't my favorite plants in the world, and I think the one I like the best over here is my M+1 Silver Stripe and the Sansevieria Metallica, but the Sansevieria metallica is like, it's one of those plants that just doesn't do that much. So that's fine. The Implissimum is growing really well. It's at the top of its moss pool. It's been at the top of its moss pool for ages though, so I think it is growing quite slowly, but it's putting out like quite large growth, which I think is due to the grow light situation. So that is very, very good. And then this side is just doing its thing. And as you can see, the humidity, even though the dehumidifier was on until like a second ago, is 59%. So it is still staying decently humid here, unfortunately, but we're running the dehumidifier as often as possible. I think these cacti and succulents are okay here. I mean, they're still not dead, which is great. The pickle one, though, has like kind of been drying out at the bottom there. And I should probably try and like clean out some of that sort of rubbish. But otherwise, it is growing really well. I think also my jade plant really likes being underneath the grow light because I've just kind of given it whatever I could up until now, and now it's finally actually under a grow light, and I think it actually really likes it, so that is good. This syngonium down here I am literally ignoring because I don't care, and I know that's bad, but I have just stopped caring about it at all, and so I think I might throw it away, which is, I know, not what you're supposed to do with plants, but that's how I'm feeling about it. And I underwatered it, and then I watered it, and now it's probably overwatered, and so it's fine. I'm just gonna ignore it. Also, I retired my Stephania for this year. So I've taken it out of its soil and cut the foliage off to let it dry, and it's been drying out for probably about a week now. I should probably put it away at this point into a bit more of a dark spot, but yeah, it'll come out again next year, and we can try again with it. In here, my pond box, things are still growing super well. I swear, my begonia white ice is the best growing begonia I've ever had, and I do think I can attribute that to it being in a box with like nearly 100% humidity. It is just so happy. My Alocasia Jacqueline that I showed in my November favorites has grown so much. Like, those are the same two tiny little leaves that I had before, and they are properly growing. I showed them in my Alocasia collection video if you want a closer look at them, but yeah, things are doing okay. This silver blush is putting out a new leaf, but I think this one, the begonia, I'm going to have to take out fairly soon because it's not quite at the top again, but like basically from where I cut it, it has 2 growth points, and I think the growth points that were lower are starting to grow as well. So I just think it's so pretty. If any begonia gets me into begonias, it's gonna be this one. So we will see. Maybe this one will be the one that gets me into the begonia thing for real. But yeah, things are growing well in there. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot as well. My Gloriosum is putting out a new leaf again, which is amazing. This was the previous new leaf. And as you can see, it is a tiny bit bigger than the old leaf. And it is obviously still not hardened off yet. I think it's just really liking the grow light it is getting from the mother light up there. But it is very happy, and I'm glad I didn't move this one in the end. I know I was thinking about it, and I'm glad I didn't, because I think it's a happy little one here, and like the fact that it's growing a lot more compact there just shows that it's in a bit of a better place. So happy with it there, and enjoying watching it continue to grow. So that is it. That is what is going on in my collection at the minute. I'm pretty happy with everything that's going on. Like, there's only a couple things that are going a bit meh, but of those things, I'm not like worried about it. I'm just accepting it is what it is. It's December. I'm not gonna keep everything perfectly happy all of the time through all of December. So I'm just glad that some things are still growing. Like, I have had my grow lights on quite a lot, so I think that has massively helped. But yeah, I think things are doing really well. So I think all is well for December. Yay! Before I sign off, I want to give a really big thank you to Hoji for joining the Good Growing fam over on Patreon. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you really enjoy it there. And then thanks to all of you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you want me to talk about. If there's anything that I touched on here briefly that you want me to go into further, let me know and I can try and make that happen. And yeah, subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!